The shocking link between your diet and nerve damage in your feet. You've felt it before, haven't you? That strange tingling in your toes. The sudden numbness creeping up your feet. Or that burning sensation almost like you've walked across hot pavement barefoot. At first you might brush it off as poor circulation or just getting older. But here's the truth you deserve to hear. And it might surprise you. The foods you eat every single day could be silently damaging your nerves. Yes, even so-called healthy vegetables. As your doctor, I want you to know that peripheral neuropathy, the clinical term for nerve damage in your feet, is not just caused by diabetes or injury. In many cases, it's the result of chronic inflammation, hidden toxins, and nutritional imbalances that start with your plate. And the most shocking part? Some of the worst culprits might be sitting in your fridge right now, disguised as vegetables you thought were good for you. That's why today's message is urgent. This is your warning, not just to catch your attention but to protect your future. Because numbness in your feet is more than an inconvenience. It's a signal, a whisper from your nervous system saying, please help, something's not right. Before we dive into the 3 vegetables that could be worsening your foot numbness, I want to take a moment to invite you to do something simple but powerful. Click the like button. Subscribe to this channel, not for me but for yourself, for your health. Because I promise you, there are more life-changing insights coming your way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Alright, now let's begin. Here are the 3 vegetables that may be numbing your feet every day, and what to eat instead to start feeling the ground beneath your toes again. 1. Eggplant, the nightshade, that may be attacking your nerves. At first glance, the eggplant seems innocent enough. Its deep purple skin, its soft, spongy texture when cooked. It's the star of many Mediterranean dishes, even promoted by heart-healthy diets. But here's the catch. Eggplants belong to a plant family called nightshades, which also includes tomatoes, bell peppers, and white potatoes. And while not everyone reacts to them the same way, many older adults with nerve sensitivity find that nightshades make things worse. Why? The culprit, solanine. Eggplants contain a natural chemical called solanine, a type of glycoalkaloid. It's the plant's built-in defense system, a bitter toxin that protects against pests and fungi. Sounds harmless? Not so fast. In humans, solanine can disrupt gut health, leading to inflammation, aggravate nerve endings, especially in people with autoimmune conditions or nerve damage, interfere with acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps your brain communicate with your muscles and nerves. Think about that. If your body is already struggling with blood sugar issues, age-related inflammation, or nerve fatigue, eating solanine-rich vegetables like eggplant can add fuel to the fire. In fact, multiple observational studies have noted that individuals with arthritis, fibromyalgia, and neuropathy often report worsened symptoms when they eat eggplant or other nightshades. How it affects your feet. Your peripheral nerves, especially those in your feet and toes, are incredibly sensitive to inflammation. When solanine enters your system and disrupts nerve communication, you may start feeling numbness or pins and needles in your feet, burning sensations that move up the legs, tightness or muscle weakness, a sense of walking on cotton, a classic neuropathy symptom. It's subtle at first, but over weeks, months, or years these signals grow louder, especially if you're eating these foods regularly. Historical insight, ancient healers and the fear of nightshades. Believe it or not, ancient healers were wary of nightshades for centuries. In traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, plants like eggplant were considered damp heat foods, meaning they create internal toxicity and heat that aggravates pain, swelling, and nerve dysfunction. In medieval Europe, many avoided nightshades altogether, fearing their relationship to the poisonous plant belladonna, also a nightshade. But the ancestral wisdom still holds true. Your body, especially as it ages, may be trying to tell you the same thing. I can't handle this toxin the way I used to. What to do instead? Try eliminating eggplant and other nightshades from your diet for 2 weeks. Keep a journal, track your symptoms. You might be amazed at how your feet feel by day 14. Replace eggplant with anti-inflammatory vegetables such as zucchini, asparagus, cauliflower, broccoli. Support your gut, where over 70% of your immune system resides. Consider fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, or kefir. Add turmeric and omega-3 rich foods to your meals to soothe inflammation naturally. Wild salmon, walnuts, and flaxseed oil are powerful allies for nerve repair. And most importantly, listen to your body. If something that's supposed to be healthy makes you feel worse, trust that. You know your body better than anyone. Real life story. Joan's journey back to feeling Let me tell you about Joan. She's 72, lives in Arizona, and came to me with a frustrating story.
Doctor, my feet feel like they're full of sand. I can't feel the carpet anymore, and it's scary.
We ran all the usual labs, nothing shocking. But when we reviewed her diet, one thing stood out. She was eating eggplant twice a week, mostly in grilled dishes she thought were healthy.
I suggested a nightshade elimination trial. By the end of the second week, she called me. I don't want to jinx it, but I think I can feel my toes again.
Now she still eats healthily, but she avoids eggplant and nightshades altogether. Her steps feel more secure, her confidence is back, she's even hiking with her grandkids again. That's the kind of transformation I want for you. 2. Beets, the circulation booster. That can backfire on your feet. You've heard the praise before. Beets are great for your heart. They improve blood flow and lower blood pressure. They're nature's nitric oxide booster. And it's true, to a point. But here's the warning I must give you, especially if you're over 60 and struggling with numbness in your feet. Beets can backfire, and in some cases, they may make your nerve symptoms worse. The misunderstood side of beets. Beets are high in oxalates, a naturally occurring compound found in many leafy and root vegetables. While small amounts aren't dangerous for most people, oxalates can become problematic when your body can't process them efficiently, something that becomes more common as we age. As your kidneys and liver become more sensitive, oxalates can build up in the bloodstream and lead to calcium oxalate crystals, which may irritate blood vessels and tissues. Reduced nutrient absorption, especially of vital minerals like magnesium and B6, increased inflammation, which is especially damaging to already vulnerable nerves. And that's where your feet come into the picture. Peripheral nerves, particularly in the feet and toes, rely on clear blood flow, strong capillary walls, and a stable nutrient balance. When oxalates interfere, circulation slows, nerve endings become hypersensitive, and the result? Numbness, burning, tingling, that frustrating dead foot feeling after just a few minutes of sitting still. Aging and oxalate sensitivity. Did you know that oxalate overload is more common in seniors? As we age, we tend to produce less of the enzymes and gut bacteria needed to break down oxalates. If you also have kidney disease or decreased kidney function, a history of gout, fatigue after eating certain greens, tingling in hands and feet that won't go away, then your body may be quietly crying out for an oxalate reduction. And many patients never connect the dots because beets have such a good reputation. But remember, what works for one body can be harmful to another, especially when nerve health is involved. Historical insight, traditional use versus modern overuse. In traditional medicine systems like Ayurveda, beets were used sparingly, often juiced with warming herbs or cooked with spices that aid digestion. In fact, many ancient healers believed excessively cooling or watery foods like beets could weaken the nerves if consumed too often, especially in older adults or those with weakened digestion. Modern diets, however, tend to overdo it. Smoothie culture, detox drinks, raw beet salads. The dose has increased dramatically, and for some, so has the damage. Symptoms to watch for. If you're consuming beets regularly, whether as juice, in salads, or roasted, and you notice increased numbness in your feet, more frequent foot cramps, cold toes that won't warm up, unexplained fatigue after meals, then it may be time to take a closer look. What to do instead? Here's what I recommend if you suspect beets may be part of the problem. Take a 21-day beet-free break. This means no beet juice, beet powder, or whole roasted beets. Give your nerves a clean slate to see how they respond. Monitor how your feet feel. Journal daily. Support your detox pathways. Focus on liver-friendly foods like dandelion greens, lemon water, cruciferous vegetables, and milk thistle tea. Consider low oxalate swaps. Replace beets with carrots or pumpkin. Try steamed kale or cabbage instead of beet greens. Real-life story, Harold's return to balance. Harold, a 68-year-old retired teacher, came to me confused and frustrated.
"Doctor," he said, "I started drinking beet juice to help my blood pressure, but now my feet feel worse than ever. I get sharp stabs in the arches and numbness in the morning."
We paused it for a few weeks, added in magnesium, switched his greens, and emphasized hydration. In just 14 days, his foot symptoms decreased dramatically. Within a month, he could walk barefoot on his carpet again without that annoying buzzing under his toes. It wasn't magic, it was biochemistry. His body simply couldn't handle the oxalate load, the bigger picture. You may feel betrayed, thinking, how can a vegetable be harmful? But you must remember, your body is not a textbook. And the foods you choose must serve you, not someone else's health trend. Beets aren't evil. But if you're struggling with foot numbness, poor circulation, or mysterious nerve symptoms, it's worth asking, is this helping me or hurting me? Trust your body's answer. 3. White potatoes, the comfort food that's quietly numbing your feet. You've probably had them hundreds of times, mashed with butter, baked with a sprinkle of salt, fried into golden French fries or wedges. White potatoes are woven into our memories. Family dinners, holidays, comfort meals after a long day. They're affordable, filling, and familiar. But here's the final warning in today's message. If you're experiencing numbness, tingling, or burning in your feet, white potatoes may be worsening your nerve damage without you even realizing it. Why white potatoes harm nerve health? While white potatoes are technically a vegetable, nutritionally, they behave more like sugar. Here's what happens when you eat them. Your body quickly converts potato starch into glucose, causing a spike in blood sugar. That spike is followed by a crash, which can lead to inflammation and oxidative stress. Over time, repeated spikes damage tiny blood vessels and nerves, especially in the extremities, your hands and feet. This process is identical to the slow damage we see in diabetic neuropathy. Even if you're not diabetic, the repeated blood sugar stress from high-starch foods like potatoes can silently erode the health of your nerves. Now add in another factor. White potatoes are nightshades, just like eggplants. This means they contain solanine, the same inflammatory compound that we covered earlier. So now we have a double threat: spiking your blood sugar, irritating your nerves through solanine. Not exactly the comfort food your nervous system needs. Historical reference: wartime rations and the potato dilemma. During World War II, white potatoes were a government staple in ration boxes. Why? They were cheap, filling, and easy to grow. But post-war studies noticed something curious. Veterans who had subsisted heavily on potatoes and white bread developed chronic nerve issues, numbness in their feet, and slowed reflexes at higher than expected rates. Further investigation revealed thiamine, vitamin B1, deficiency, aggravated by starch-heavy diets. B1 is essential for healthy nerves. And guess what? White potatoes are not only low in B1, they also rob your body of it when consumed in excess. Even today, in hospitals and nursing homes, diets heavy in mashed potatoes and bread can deprive older adults of the very nutrients their nerves desperately need. Common foot symptoms triggered by white potatoes. Here's what I've seen time and again in my practice. Patients eating white potatoes several times per week, sometimes daily, report the following foot-related issues. A dull numbness in the soles of the feet. Sharp, stabbing pain in the toes, especially at night, loss of balance or proprioception, not feeling the floor properly. Increased sensitivity to temperature, burning or freezing feet. A socks-on sensation even when barefoot. These symptoms often ease within weeks when white potatoes are removed and anti-inflammatory, nerve-supportive foods are introduced. What to do instead? Here's how to gently replace potatoes without losing comfort or satisfaction. Switch to sweet potatoes, in moderation. They're rich in beta-carotene, vitamin C, and fiber, and much lower in solanine. Try mashed cauliflower. When steamed and blended with garlic and olive oil, it makes a creamy, low-carb substitute that supports rather than stresses your nerves. Explore root vegetables like turnips or rutabagas. These are gentler on blood sugar and free of harmful glycoalkaloids. Support nerve health with B-complex vitamins, especially B1, thiamine, B6, and B12, all of which are vital for protecting nerve sheaths and improving circulation to the feet. Real-life story: Carol's comeback from chronic numbness. Carol, age 75, came to me after nearly 2 years of progressive numbness in her feet. She had tried creams, massages, even physical therapy, but her symptoms only worsened. A quick look at her diet revealed her favorite food. "Doctor, I can't help it. I just love potatoes. I eat them in some form almost every day." She was skeptical, but agreed to a 30-day potato-free trial. We replaced her mashed potatoes with cauliflower puree and added B-complex vitamins to her routine. By week 3, she noticed something subtle. "I can feel the difference between carpet and tile again," she said, beaming. "It's like my feet are waking up." Within 2 months, her balance improved. She was walking more, falling less, and her fear of permanent nerve damage faded. It wasn't a miracle pill. It was removing the food that had silently been doing the damage. Final thoughts. Listen to the whispers in your feet. Your feet are always speaking to you. They don't have voices, but they send messages. Numbness, tingling, burning, a strange off feeling when you step out of bed. These symptoms are not just aging, they're signs, warnings. And today, you've learned the truth behind 3 vegetables: eggplant, beets, and white potatoes. that may be contributing to the numbness you feel daily. But more importantly, you've learned that you are not powerless. You can heal. You can make small changes that lead to big improvements. You can feel the floor again. You can walk with confidence again, because your body is not broken. It's responding to what you feed it. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more powerful insights like this. Your health journey matters, and I'm here to walk it with you. And remember, healing starts at the root, sometimes by pulling up the wrong one. Stay strong, stay hopeful. Your feet and your future are worth it.